Hello guys, welcome back to Madness in Nigeria Living, and I'm your host Casey. Welcome back to this new year. For our first special episode, we're going to look at the financial outlook for Nigeria in the year 2025. I won't get too in-depth with the numbers. There will be linked down below if you are interested in that. I just want to talk about what to expect in the year 2025. For one, the Q4 of last year, 2024, showed growth. We performed better than was expected, so that is making a lot of people optimistic for the year 2025. But the hardship might still continue, reason being, even though our GDP was up by about 3 point something percent, Nigeria population grew by 5%. So we still outgrew our GDP, which means not to be too optimistic, but not to be too pessimistic. The year will most likely still look like last year. We can only judge the new policies that are being placed by the end of this year, because we usually have to give the country time for the policies to be implemented. My pessimism usually comes with the implementation of these policies or these fiscal policies by CBN and the government. But with the budget that we are seeing, I just want to highlight where I have an issue with the budget. For one, the vast majority of the Nigeria budget is going to security and defense, then infrastructure before education and health. Security and defense makes sense if you consider the increase in crime, the terrorism in the north, but the increase in crime and terrorism in the north is not a product of lack of security, I would argue. I would say it's a product of lack of resources. When you can't go to school, you're not properly educated, you don't see ways to make money for yourself, you don't even think you can make money if you actually do put in the work, crime just seems more lucrative. I don't think the people in Western countries like Iceland that really commit crimes are just inherently good people. It's just that their system works. So if our policies is still focused on trying to fight the crime, I feel the grassroots problem is still not being tackled. My advice would have been we should put more resources to education, infrastructure, and health. If those are being tackled, the crime rate, the terrorism, I do believe will naturally go down. So what are the goals our government have for the end of the year? One of the goals is to reduce our inflation rate from 34% to 15%. Once again, I'm pessimistic about this, but we'll have to give the government time to see if their policies put in place will actually make us achieve this. Another goal is to change dollar rate from 1,700 naira to 1,500 naira. Put in mind, this, if it does happen, the economy is technically better, but then again, it's just within the 1 year frame, because we suffering from the double-digit inflation that worst case scenario might get to 38% in this year. Is very tricky. But then again, like I said, we just have to be patient, because from one, even though the price of a barrel of petroleum might go down in this year, the percentage is very small. And if we do meet the goal, one of the goals the government have, which is increase the number of barrels produced daily, we might see a better Nigeria by the end of the year. Our economy might be smoother. I'm very pessimistic about the goals, the better economy. Reason being, the Nigerian government is not very transparent. I feel if there was transparency in how this would be implemented, I would be here telling you guys that this new year would be better economically speaking. But transparency is not usually clear. They tell us this money is budgeted for this agency will get this. We don't know when it's being implemented. We don't know how to check the data to see if it's being done properly, because it's one thing to say 2 million barrels of oil being produced daily. It's another thing for us to see the data that we're getting close to that, or we're able to achieve that. And that trust, I do believe, if we have the trust in our government, the inflation rate would slightly go down. And that's why I still find it fascinating that the government still is not focusing so much on agriculture, because one of Nigeria's biggest problems is food scarcity. But then again, like I said, the government is trying new policies, and by the end of the year is when we'll find out if the policies will do good I know you are just coming back from dirty December and all that. Just prepare your mind. This year might be a tricky one. You might want to cut out expenses you don't really need to spend, because the similarity between this year and last year will be very, very similar. Yeah, that doesn't sound right, but that's it. So just try and navigate it how you navigated 2024. Best case scenario, by the end of the year, we'll all be smiling because the economy will be better. But I would also put in place that no matter how it plays out, if the economy does get better, do not forget the long-term reality of our economy. We are seeing a 34% inflation rate coming from about 12-13% during the last regime. So it's very important to know that even though these new policies might help, it might not still be as good as our economy once was, but it's a good place to start. And that's it. It's a good place to start. A fascinating year. I feel we should all be looking at the policies the government are making, so we know in one hand how to hold agencies accountable any way we can, even if it's to put your voice online on Twitter or on any other platform. But that's it. This year will be an interesting one. Thanks again for coming. We'll be back on the 8th of January for our first episode this year. Bye.